The member for Fisher.
My question is to the Minister for the Environment and Energy. Will the Minister update the House on what the government is doing to ensure that hard-working Australian families have an affordable and reliable energy supply? How does this compare with alternative approaches that would hurt families and small businesses in my electorate?
The Minister for the Environment and Energy.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Fisher for his question and acknowledge his deep concern for the fruit growers and the nut growers in his electorate who are paying higher prices for their electricity, whether it's strawberries, pineapples, macadamia nuts in the Glasshouse Mountains and in Beerwah. And yes, recently I met with the Irrigators Council, who talked about the higher electricity prices impacting on their business, including the fact that for one irrigation pump station has seen its electricity prices go from $880,000 a year in 2010 to $1.8 million a year this year, more than a doubling of the price. And that's why we are investing record amounts in storage technology. And the Prime Minister's talked about pumped hydro. That's why we're trying to keep sufficient baseload power in the system, and that's why we're railing against the 50% renewable energy targets proposed by those opposite. And just yesterday we saw how confused the Labor Party was about whether or not it would legislate its 50% renewable energy target. Its policy document that it took to the Australian people less than 12 months ago said it would legislate, and then the Leader of the Opposition said last week that they wouldn't. But if that was their only point of confusion, then it would stop there, but it's not, because now they're also confused about exactly what is their 50% renewable energy target. The member for Sydney was asked by Tony Jones on Q&A last Monday, your 50% renewable target, is that a guaranteed target, or has it now turned into an aspiration based on wishful thinking? The member for Sydney replied, it's not about wishful thinking. This is about putting a price on carbon. So then the Leader of the Opposition backed her up. He's told Emma Alberici we should use market forces to set a price. And I thought to myself, is that Labor's policy? What would the hapless member for Port Adelaide, their official spokesman on energy and climate change, say on this issue? And I discovered this gem of an interview that he did, this gem with Neil Mitchell. This is what the member for Port Adelaide, their official spokesman, told Neil Mitchell. I've described very clearly what our policy is. An ETS without a carbon price, Mr Speaker. You have got a very definitive answer from me, Neil. You know that. There is no price on carbon. That's about as definitive as anyone could be. Mr Speaker, the Labor Party is totally confused. You're not sure if your policy's ambition and aspiration, a goal, a target, a policy objective. You're not sure whether you're going to legislate it or whether you're not. And now you don't even know whether it's a carbon price or it's no carbon price at all. Unfortunately, the Australian people, households and businesses are going to pay the price of your terrible energy policy.